Now at 6, parents and children are hoping for the best as thousands of students start the new school year today.
As online learning begins, I'm going to share advice from parents to parents on how to help your kids return to class.
Wildfires continue to devastate the West Coast. Now, California officials warn that the worst is yet to come.
This back-to-school forecast, you may be dodging a few raindrops here and there. I have your hour-by-hour forecast.
Plus, used cars increase in value during the pandemic. We connect the dots on what's causing the spike in prices.
From the KHOU 11 studios, this is H-Town Rush.
It's the first day of school for parents, students, and teachers in Houston ISD, Katy, Klein, and Cy-Fair. Some students will attend class online while others will be returning to campus. So we want to know, how you feeling about the first day of school this year? Are you nervous? Are you excited? We want to know everything. Hit us up on social media with the hashtag HTownRush. For now, good morning, everyone. I'm Steph Simmons. Glad you're with us up early. Let's get over to Cheetah Craft for a look at that back-to-school forecast.
Oh, yeah. Well, some of the recess times you're going to be dodging raindrops, even if you're at campus or even if you're at home. It doesn't matter. Everyone going to be dealing with on and off showers to an isolated thunderstorm or two. And that's basically what we are seeing for your morning commute. Fort Bend County, Wharton County, Matagorda, and Brazoria, mainly talking to you right now, and then this will become a little bit more widespread. But Brookshire, Katy may tap into some of this rain. And then check it out, portions of 288, Angleton, Oyster Creek this morning. You've really seen some downpours. Low 90s this afternoon. We will talk more about that cool front on the way in just a little bit. Xavier.
Oh, it can't come soon enough, Cheetah. Thank you. Well, today is the day thousands of Houston area families are waking up and getting ready for the first day of class. Now, some students will begin remotely while some are actually going to be on campus. Michelle Choi has a little bit of what your kids can actually expect.
Hey, good morning. A big day for a lot of you parents as your kids start school today, whether that's virtually or in person. Some of you say you're nervous. Others of you say you're excited to get the year started, and it's definitely going to be different. Let's start with HISD. The state's largest school district is starting the year virtually today, and we're told it'll remain that way until at least mid-October. But for some students who don't have access to technology and the internet, the district's using certain campuses and teaming up with local churches to provide digital learning centers. Students will be able to use Wi-Fi at these centers to connect remotely, including at Trinity United Methodist Church, which is opening its doors for the first time today since March.
We all need to help specifically the educational system because these kids are our future.
It's also the first day of school for both Klein and Cy-Fair ISD. Both districts are starting the year remotely and on campus for those who chose face-to-face instruction. Cy-Fair ISD spent the weekend reminding families on social media about COVID-19 safety protocols. And this morning, Katy ISD will welcome back students to their campuses for in-person learning after kicking off the year virtually a few weeks ago. I'll have more on their first day coming up at 6:30. Guys, back to you. Michelle, thank you. This is one of the last groups of students to head back to school. So last night on social media, I asked you guys a question. For the parents who already had kids in school for a week, maybe a couple of weeks, what advice could you offer for parents whose kids are starting day one of what is sure to be a very different school year? And I want to say thank you to everyone who shared their thoughtful responses. We are very appreciative. I want to start with this one. Just relax. Everything won't be perfect. This is a marathon, not a sprint. Deep breath. We are going to get through this. Casey suggests having grace and patience for yourself, the kids, the teachers. She says don't be surprised if things change in the first couple of weeks because we're just learning what works as we go. Now we're getting into the nitty-gritty. So try setting an alarm 2 minutes before class is supposed to start back up after a break. Marguerite says that's worked with her daughter after lunch and breaks so they're not scrambling to get on. You also should probably put a link or a shortcut for your Zoom meetings on your desktop. Lisa says that way you're not digging for it at the last minute. While you're at it, write down all of the apps required as well as the login ID and passwords. There are going to be quite a few of them. Simon actually had like a 5 bullet point comment. You can read that on my Facebook page. A lot of good advice there. Also on the tech side, Bill recommends testing what you can beforehand. So like now, see if the headset works. Is the microphone working? Can you access the websites and classroom service? Once class does get going, he says don't disturb. them during class time. Keep the house noise down as much as possible. And Wallace set up a dedicated workspace for his daughter. He says it makes it a little more formal. They also bought a better chair for her to sit in, so it seems more permanent and it's not just a quick fix, you know? So that is all amazing advice for kids who are starting virtual school, but there are a few districts that are sending kids back to in-person instruction today. So quick note of advice from this person: keep extra masks in the car because your kids will forget. Extra water bottles too. Add a thermometer in your bag because you will forget. Definitely new rules as we start the 2020-21 school year. And parents, if you have questions, just text the word school to 713-526-1111. We'll send you a link to find your school's reopening plans.
All right, Brandy, thank you. Happening right now, huge wildfires are burning out of control in California. Officials there are now warning that the worst is yet to come. The fires are responsible for scorching over 2 million acres in the state. In San Bernardino County, officials believe the El Dorado fire started during a gender reveal party. Officials say the family went to a park to take a photo and placed 2 smoke canisters on the ground.
They use 2 pyrotechnic devices. They burn on the inside and they emit a colored smoke. And that device also emits hot gas, which ignited the seasonal grass that used to be behind us.
The fire has since burned more than 9,600 acres and destroyed several homes. The electric company PG&E says it cut power to more than 170,000 customers due to those fire conditions. We turn now to your coronavirus headlines this morning. Here's what we're tracking for you right now. Governor Abbott extends the statewide disaster declaration. He's urging everyone to wear a mask, sanitize their hands, and practice social distancing. The governor is also set to announce the next steps to reopen Texas again this week. The World Health Organization says that governments who are providing politically motivated information about the pandemic could face political backlash. The comments come after Brazil's government sent mixed messages over its COVID-19 response. The death toll in the U.S. has now topped 189,000. Nationwide, over 6.3 million people have been infected with the virus. That's according to Johns Hopkins University. We turn now to the day's other big stories, starting with President Trump and Democratic nominee Joe Biden talking about COVID-19 with 8 weeks to go until Election Day.
Under my leadership, we'll produce a vaccine in record time.
President Trump says the COVID-19 vaccine could arrive by Election Day, while Biden answered questions on a vaccine, sounding a more skeptical note.
If I could get a vaccine tomorrow, I'd do it. If it would cost me the election, I'd do it.
Early in-person voting in Texas starts October 13th and runs through the 30th. That's just 36 days away. In July, Governor Abbott added 6 extra days of early voting due to COVID-19 concerns. And Harris County plans to start sending out mail-in ballots to those who requested them in less than 2 weeks.
Congress gets back to work today with talks on a new COVID-19 relief package. Last month, Republicans and Democrats failed to make a deal, but the president once again floated a cash payment for many Americans. Today, Representatives Lizzie Fletcher and Sylvia Garcia will donate 3,000 masks to Legacy Community Health Southwest Clinic. They want to ensure frontline workers have enough PPE to stay safe. And COVID concerns during a busy holiday weekend.
Galveston Island's Beach Patrol chief says crowds this Labor Day weekend at times resembled those on a typically busier Memorial Day. Chief Peter Davis says a busy weekend here brings between 250 to 500,000 people. He guesses this weekend was in the middle to higher side of that range. Davis says hotels were nearly full and a lot more day trippers made the trip here.
And those are the big stories on this Tuesday morning. At 6:07, you may want to hold off on buying a used car. Prices are spiking as COVID-19 shakes up the market. Marcelino Benito connects the dots.
The global coronavirus pandemic is causing an unusual side effect. The price of used cars is going through the roof. Let's connect the dots. When COVID-19 hit, essential workers who still had to commute to jobs started avoiding public transportation and ride-sharing if they could. It led to bizarre scenes of abandoned subway stations, nearly empty buses, and Uber drivers desperate for fares. And even as parts of the country reopen, it looks like workers are not enthusiastic to return to public transportation. That concern, along with uncertainty about the economy, has led to more people buying used cars, and that has caused an unusual situation. Cars are notorious for depreciating in value as soon as you drive it off the lot, but according to Edmunds, the average value of a used car went up 16% in the month of July alone. This boom has car dealers working hard to find used cars. According to reports, dealerships are now running ads and cold calling drivers trying to convince them to sell older vehicles. So if you're looking to unload an old car, now might be the perfect time to trade up. Connecting the dots, I'm Marcelino Benito for H-Town Rush.
Marcelino, thank you. If you have questions about COVID-19, text the word FACTS to 713-526-1111, and then we'll send you back a link with information on various topics. All right, let's get over to Cheetah now for a look at the one thing.
All right, the one thing you need to know, scattered storms today, on and off showers. So a good 40 to maybe even 50% chance, especially areas south of I-10. Still hot, still humid. We will talk about that cold front when it arrives and what it will do coming up in just a little bit. I'll send it back to you.
All right, Cheetah, you got it. 6:09 your time now. The show must go on. How organizers of the Tokyo Olympics plan to move forward with the games.